This Mother's Day, celebrate all the women who make life brighter with a gift from Pandora Jewelry. Choose jewelry that reflects what she means to you and the moments you share. Make it even more meaningful by personalizing your piece with an engraving in your own handwriting, something no one else has. Either a date, a name, or something unique to you. Because the best Mother's Day gift says more than I love you. It says I appreciate you. It says I see you. Find the perfect Mother's Day gift at your local Pandora store or online at pandora.net.
Spring into deals for seasonal savings. Shop select one pint annuals for just $1. Plus, get a free additional Cobalt 40-volt 2-amp-hour battery when you buy a select Cobalt 40-volt trimmer and blower combo kit. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid to 5/6. Annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Visit your nearby Lowe's on East 17th Avenue in Hutchinson.
Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this time, especially if you are listening to this episode on the Major Spoilers podcast master feed, a.k.a. Major Spoilers Plus. That's where all of our active shows are residing. Again, everybody wanted one single feed, so I brought it all back. You're welcome. So you can listen to Critical Hit, Top 5, Major Spoilers podcast, Legion Clubhouse, and more. So there you go. As we make our move, continue to make our move from our previous site and those bad, awful hosting providers to what's that, Rodrigo? Yeah, boo those people. Boo them. Boo that man. To our new Substack page, majorspoilers.substack.com. That is our new home for the foreseeable future. Sign up for free over there and get the newsletter 3 times a week, as well as our podcast, etc., etc., etc. So one of the questions that popped up here pretty quickly in the Critical Hit channel over on Discord was from Jurisprudence, who says, I got to meet Rodrigo at Corvallis GameCon.
Yeah.
What was that all about, Rodrigo? How'd that go?
It went pretty well. I was invited to C3 GameCon, which is Corvallis Community Center GameCon. I did 2 talks because it's the 2-day thing. Mostly or primarily on world building for role-playing games. It was very nice. People went, they liked it, and honestly, the best part is that they gave me some gift cards for some really good local restaurants. But the second best part is that I got to meet some Critical Hit fans who saw that I was going to be there and made the drive, or they already lived there. And it's always nice to talk to people and and see what their experience with Critical Hit was. Usually, when I meet people, it tends to be positive. Usually, the ones that have a negative experience with Critical Hit just email Steven directly.
Yeah, that's fine. Podcast at majorspoilers.com. That's not changing. So it was a good weekend, right? So if you are out there and you are an organizer of a convention and you want a Rodrigo Lopez or one of the other members of Critical Hit to maybe do a guest panel or appearance at your show, let us know. We'll be happy to do it, providing that it's not too far away and that it fits into our schedule. So there you are. So really good. A couple of other things have popped up over on the Discord. Many people remember John. He's done some art for us in the past, has been a part of Critical Hit, I want to say, right? Or at least some Munchkin Land.
Munchkin Land, yeah.
Yeah. So
your least favorite episode of Munchkin Land.
Well, that was that stupid episode. Oh, that's going to tie into our next topic, right? The one where it's just like we chipped away 1 point at a time on Sentinels of the Multiverse. Yeah. Okay, I remember that.
We all still live together. I would suggest that we should redo that fight with the definitive edition and see if it go any better.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So anyway, here John has an RPG out over on his Patreon, Crim's Bacon, that people might want to check out. What's going on with that?
I definitely helped with that one. We wanted to do Monster Hunter-ish RPG. We both enjoy the powered by the Apocalypse system, so we went with that, and kind of rolled into it. So the general conceit is build a hunter, go out, fight a big dumb monster, use its parts to make better weapons to go out and fight a bigger, dumber monster.
Now,
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, flipping through this, it seems to be maybe a bit more rules heftier than your average Powered by the Apocalypse game.
It is. We needed to find a way to mimic the whole weapon choice mattering thing.
Venturing into Blades territory.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not as bad as Root if you ever looked at that.
I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. The Powered by the Apocalypse game based on the board game of the same name, where you play little woodland creatures trying to basically negotiate between various factions because everyone's a vagabond. It's crazy. There's separate moves for weapons in addition to your playbook and just all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I think you can get away with having a playbook that's 2 pages front and back. I think that's probably okay.
I feel like that's about the sweet spot.
Yeah, so you can have a little bit crunchier Powered by the Apocalypse game. It's a good thing that you're playtesting it because after a certain amount of crunch, I think Powered by the Apocalypse gets too stiff. I don't know.
Is Powered by the Apocalypse, because we talk about it all the time, but I don't think we've ever played a game of.
We have Haze of Shadows.
Haze of Shadows.
Yeah, okay. Urban Shadows was the system, and that's a Powered by the Apocalypse game. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So why is this one, in your opinion, kind of crunchy? Well, besides that, Rob loves crunchy games.
Yeah, I mean, just flipping through this, I'm just seeing various, just a lot more stats and weapon upgrades and stuff than.
Yeah, so Powered by the Apocalypse games traditionally, or at least the basic ones at the beginning, could be played by just your character sheet. Literally anything that your character could have, except when you borrow a power from someone else, was on your character sheet already, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are getting more complex than that, that's the baseline. So if you're getting any more complex than that, that kind of puts you into a crunchy Powered by the Apocalypse territory, which is still probably about an eighth as crunchy as, say, a D&D or Lancer or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I mentioned we were going to talk Sentinels of the Multiverse. So Sentinels of the Multiverse has had some problems. I think some of our listeners are familiar with the problem where they basically got shut down. The problem was that Candelabra Games, which was doing the electronic version of Sentinels of the Multiverse, they had just finished their successful Kickstarter to do the updated version to more align with the new rules for the newer version, the 2.0 version of Sentinels of the Multiverse. And everyone's like, what's going on? Even our favorite Sentinels of the Multiverse podcast was shut down. And Candelabra Games announced, was it last week, I want to say, that they have purchased everything Sentinels of the Multiverse. So that's the card game, the RPG. There's some space game that's now officially in continuity, as well as all of the digital games. Brian, what do you think about all this?
I think it votes pretty well. I mean, they sit there and talks with other people they know that actually develop tabletop, physical games, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing else. I mean, maybe we'll see the rest of Definitive Edition digitally. I'm excited to see what comes of this. I hope that the remaining stuff that was supposed to be provided through the RPG Kickstarter actually gets done. So,
yeah, I hope so too. I think it will be. I think they said they were going to have delivery of the game either by the end of this year or the first of 2027. So I'm down for it. And I hope they are able to continue with the physical version to get the other editions out, the remaining stuff out too. So I'm kind of in agreement with you. I don't know how many the rest of everybody here loves Sentinels of the Universe as much as Brian and I do, but Rob, do you have any thoughts on this?
I absolutely love Sentinels of the Multiverse. It is the digital version is my second highest played game on Steam.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you used to drop in when we would during COVID when I would do the lunchtime streams, and you would give me suggestions on how to not be dumb while playing Sentinels of the Multiverse. We are also going to jump into some mailbag questions, not technically mailbag, although you can always send them to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com. These are coming from our Critical Hit channel over on Discord. Jarmo asks, what mecha shows or movies, if any, have you taken inspiration from when designing your characters? Alex, how about we start with you?
I don't know about mecha shows specifically. I've kind of bounced off of a lot of mecha shows. I like the concept, but when I start watching them and every mech is basically the same, except for the one superhero mech that can just annihilate all the rest, I kind of get bored of it. But I have really liked... oh, shoot.
Do you want Gundam or do you want Zaku?
No.
What happens in it?
The main character can control people with his mind. Code Yes. I did really enjoy that one.
What about?
I don't know that it inspired anything.
What about you, Rob?
Is Transformers considered a mecha?
Sure, why not?
Only the American ones. Wait, no, I guess they were all Japanese, weren't they? Like only half the Transformers are technically mecha.
Well, like
if there's no pilot, is it a mecha?
Force?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Originally, like half of all Transformers were like supposed to be mechs, and they just slapped a little face sticker on them, and they're like, "Nope, this is an autonomous robot," even though this is clearly a seat. Too deep of a cut. Let's move on.
Yeah, Rodrigo, what about you? Do you have any inspirations for any of the bad guys that we've seen, or are these all just, hey, this is what the book says, this is what I'm using?
No. I think what you'll probably find with this group, including me, is that a lot of the inspiration doesn't come from mecha shows. And the reason for that is twofold. One, I think for all of us, mecha isn't like the biggest genre that we're into, right? So, the odd giant robot show, sure, whatever, it's cool. But it's not like our number one thing. And the second one is that Lancer actually actively repels most genre conventions, right? And I have gotten into fights with people over stuff like this, especially on YouTube, because I've made videos about this. Lancer works very differently than most mech media. And so if you're like, I am coming in thinking about this Gundam from this Gundam show, how do I make that? And the answer is often kind of like either you don't, or you pretend that all of these other things that are happening are actually the thing that the mech, right, is like the thing that the Gundam is doing, right? Like how do I make a swarm of little zappy guys like Witch from Mercury? You don't. You just pretend that, whatever your Nexus weapons are a bunch of little zappy guys, and maybe you have some drones for the bigger stuff, and maybe you pick up a shield from something else. It's like, it's hard to make an Ava or a Gundam in Lancer because Lancer pulls you in different directions.
Yeah, I kind of am the same way. I don't, I've seen a lot of the anime. For me, giant mech anime is not my go-to anime of choice. So I watch very little of that. I used to play a game back in the day, Mech Warrior 2, 31st Century Combat. And I was horrible at it. So perhaps that poor quality turnout is one of the reasons I'm shy to play this game. Although for the character, I would say a lot of that was influenced by Cassian Andor from Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's where mine is at. What about you, Brian?
I mean, if anything, I feel like my guy is like a Starfleet guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Like a Starfleet guy coming to a Star Wars world and trying to make it better.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting who everybody has pitched, because everybody is really on brand Once again, Steven pitched the main character.
Well, yeah.
Brian pitched the scientist who's dealing with space-time issues. Rob pitched a swarm, which I know you're like, well, Rob doesn't usually play a swarm, but the reason for that is because we haven't let him. And I think he's played at least one, actually, but he's playing a swarm now. Honestly, and Matthew's playing Leroy Jenkins. Honestly, the most outside is Alex because his character can't move 47 squares per turn. That's usually what I would.
I'm headed exactly that direction.
I know. You're right. You're not there yet, but
He's
no. Actually,
speed.
now that I think of it, everybody is so on brand for the mechs that they're playing. Nobody's playing against type, which is fine because usually you don't get it to express that with giant robots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who says this? This is Faros Ree, I believe is how you say their name. What do you like best about the other player characters so far? How about we start with you, Rodrigo, since you're the GM? Who's your favorite? Tell us. Who's your favorite player?
Well, normally my favorite's Brian. I think I've gone on record several times saying that usually, definitely Brian's characters are the ones that I like because Brian is very nice about filling out gaps and also leaving stuff open in his backstory. That's like gives me a lot of stuff to work with. So from that standpoint, it's definitely bandwidth. But I like stuff about all of the characters. I like that I feel like there are like slowly blossoming relationships here, and that's something I'm interested in. I want to get it to a point where everybody's like more talking to each other than going back and talking to me, like during downtime and stuff like that.
I was thinking about that myself the other day. I was like, well, we don't have. I mean, we're all good role players, and we've known each other for years, so we know we don't have a problem interacting with one another. But I did notice. I think it was this most recent episode where Chameleon had his brain implant put in. And how there hasn't been that much interaction. We had confrontation where both Chameleon and Tucson confronted Impact on his, attack actions.
Mm-hmm.
But we really haven't started to develop the relationships. But I do see also, I was like, oh, this is an episode where you start to see some alignments starting to occur. Not like cliquish or anything like that, but now you're starting to see where people start to jive personally with one another.
Yeah, I mean, these are still new characters, so
yeah.
In a TV show where everything's being written, and alternately probably in some actual play shows where maybe there's a little bit more scripting going on, these relationships would develop a lot faster. But I'm okay with the pace because it's all happening like naturally as it happens, so...
Alex, what are your thoughts about the player characters so far? What do you like best about the other player characters so far?
I have enjoyed Tucson's interactions with both Impact and with Dr. Bees in the most recent episode, I believe it is. But yeah, it's been I have this idea of a great 1990s movie where you had the Bash Brothers from Mighty Ducks 2.
Sure.
And I have this vision in the future of me and or Tucson and Impact just smashing into an enemy formation, breaking it up, and that'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. Rob?
So far, Matthew's character has been Rob's favorite. Mostly because it's just very Matthew. And like, it's more or less exactly what I expect from him, and the fact that he wasn't quite the first person to go down. Or was he the first person?
Yeah, that's true.
He was the first. He was the first one to lose a match.
I was second.
Although immediately followed by Chameleon.
Yeah, it was like within a
couple turns. Yeah.
Like,
I think it was like the very next turn because I
Right.
couldn't take a rest to, shake off all the problems that I had. And so boom, there you go. I'm going to say that I'm going to go with the cheap answer and steal Rodrigo's answer of everybody plays the characters exactly like you expect them to. And so, I like that for better or for worse. Brian?
Yeah, I mean, well, I feel like there's some surprises. Like I really like like the flavor that Alex added, like kind of given his character seemed like a bit of a Southwest American feel.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah.
I will add this. I love, I actually should have brought this up earlier, but I love all of Rob's choices that he's made for his character. Like at every turn, I'm like, wow, that was a choice. And like, it's only improved things.
I'm glad I'm not the problem child for a change.
So are there any Lancer mechanics that have been really hard to convey in a recorded podcast format?
I think there's a challenge when you get into combat if you can't see the field.
Mm-hmm.
But again, because we are constantly, I like to think, because we're constantly talking to each other, like people are always being like, am I in range of this guy? Am I in range of this guy? Like, what about this? What about that? Am I behind cover? Whatever. We essentially paint a picture of what's going on, even if you don't know exactly what it is. So I don't think it's that hard to follow if you're paying attention. And I'm you guys aren't paying attention. I mean, like if your mind wanders while combat is going on, and then you come back like a few minutes later, you might not know that something has happened.
Yeah.
So that can be a bit of an issue.
That I think anytime any battle for the longest time, those are always the ones that me personally I have trouble following when someone's just like, I'm going to run over here and pull the sword out of the stone and start hacking away at people. And it's like, okay, where's this stone with a sword in it? It's back in medieval England. I really have some difficulty with that. That's why we started doing the screen captures all those years ago. And now, while specifically for Lancer, because unless you're like, hey, up in quadrant 1, unless you were to describe them as quadrants and where people are, it is still very hard for I think listeners to kind of judge 6 players plus 32 enemies and know where everybody is at, picture that in their head all at the same time. And so that's why we went and started doing the video for people that want to watch that over on the Critical Hit or the Major Spoilers YouTube channel. You can go and see those episodes that have battles, have video of the player mat, the field. So you can at least see where people are moving and see how the terrain is laid out and those kinds of things. But yeah, that's kind of difficult. Anyone else have any thoughts on Lancer mechanics that have been hard to convey? Don't all speak at once. Don't all speak at once.
I mean, they could see it.
Yeah. That's true.
Hey everyone, it's Cal Penn. I'm the host of Earsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club. This week on the podcast, I am sitting down with Ray Porter, the narrator of Andy Weir's audiobook Project Hail Mary, massive sci-fi adventure about survival and science and what happens when you wake up alone very far from Earth.
I really had to make a decision because I caught myself getting that frog in my throat and starting to get teary as I'm narrating some of these sections. And it's like, okay, yo, is this indulgent? And I really thought about it. I was like, no, at this point, it would kind of be betraying the trust the author and the listener have in telling this story if I don't go through it. But there's places in this book that deeply emotionally affected me, and I left it on the mic.
That's great.
Because it served the story. People will say like, oh my God, I cried at the end. It's like, yeah, dude, me too.
Listen to Earsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Support for the show comes from Public, the investing platform for those who take it seriously. On Public, you can build a multi-asset portfolio of stocks, bonds, options, crypto, and now generated assets, which allow you to turn any idea into an investable index with AI. It all starts with your prompt. From renewable energy companies with high free cash flow to semiconductor suppliers growing revenue over 20% year over year, you can literally type any prompt and put the AI to work. It screens thousands of stocks, builds a one-of-a-kind index, and lets you backtest it against the S&P 500. Then you can invest in a few clicks. Generated assets are like ETFs with infinite possibilities, completely customizable and based on your thesis, not someone else's. Go to public.com/podcast and earn an uncapped 1% bonus when you transfer your portfolio. That's public.com/podcast. Paid for by Public Investing. Brokerage services by Open to the Public Investing Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services by Public Advisors LLC, SEC registered advisor. Generated assets is an interactive analysis tool. Output is for informational purposes only and is not an investment recommendation or advice. Complete disclosures available at public.com/disclosures.
Alex, here's one that I know that you have at least part of the answer to. If everyone's mechs combined, what form would it take, and what is the name?
Oh, well, if the enemy is clever, we're smaller but whatever, we put it together and all form the head. Maybe you get that song. That's immediately what I thought of when I heard that question.
Totally put together one way.
There's this great song by, I guess it's MC Frontalot. I don't know. That's where I found it on YouTube. But yes, that's immediately what I thought of. And, I don't know, based on our, early characters, we're basically one step away from being the Constructicons.
True.
Yeah. So definitely an episode, or our first mission, that would be what we would have to have turned into.
Yeah. What's the name?
It takes me forever to make names.
So
who's got a good name?
Definitely, when you guys get your new mechs, there are going to be some size differences. So most likely you'd want Dr. Beast or Impact to be the head, since they're going to be in smaller mechs. And then of course
it's going to be a smaller mech.
You can just call him B-head. Form B-head.
Or if they're really tiny, just BBs. Rob, do you have any thoughts on what form they would take?
I mean, I'm 100% behind Rodrigo now since I'm the head.
There you go. I would probably what form we would take. We are the ones that will end the universe, I'm sure. There's a question. I don't know if it is in relation to something else that was asked. I know it has nothing to do with Lancer, but people could just ask questions.
Sure.
What do you think of Draw Steel? I have the books, but haven't deep dived into it.
Kind of the same thing here. I've been hearing some great things about Draw Steel. Like a lot of people say it takes a lot of inspiration from 4th edition D&D. Basically what it is, it's the Matt Colville's RPG that basically when the OGL kerfuffle happened last year, there was quite a few different games that came out and people decided that they're going to make their own D&D to avoid that situation. And, so there's Draw Steel and Shadow Hearts or whatever it is from the Critical Role and the like. The DC 20 RPG is still in development, so just a bunch of those happening. So yeah, Draw Steel is definitely one that's very focused on tactical combat.
Daggerheart.
Daggerheart, yeah, that's the one from Critical Role. I haven't really looked at Daggerheart at all. I've only looked at Draw Steel a little bit. But they apparently really incentivize you to push enemies around because you do extra damage when you slam them against a wall. So that's neat.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
interesting. Especially when I keep getting these push ads to me on Facebook about what is it, Devil Department, a very anime, Jujutsu Kaisen themed setting book being made by a third party, and it's that might get me to actually sit down and read through Draw Steel.
Yeah, we did play a 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons campaign for like 17 centuries. So maybe that's not the first thing that we tend to jump on when it comes out. It's still interesting though.
Yeah. We'll get back into some more Lancer questions here in a minute, but have you guys, maybe Brian has, are you familiar with the public access RPG game?
Yeah, I picked it up quite some time ago, and Quinn's Quest did a review of it not too long ago, right before they kicked off this big crowdfunder for like the full release. So that gave me quite a push, it looks like. But yeah, it's kind of a take on Brindlewood Bay. It's Brindlewood Bay is basically kind of like this cozy mystery game where you play a bunch of like old women in very Murder She Wrote style, but you're slowly uncovering like this Cthulhu conspiracy.
Yeah.
And, it does.
I stumbled across this a while ago, and so I've bought the original beta version that they were selling on DriveThru RPG for like super cheap. And I'm intrigued by this game and the game system in that it's, the early 90s, internet is brand new, and you come from this community, and at one point you all lived in this community, and you remember a public access station, and then mysteriously the station vanished overnight, and it's now into the realm of mystery and rumor and myth, and you and these friends that you've met online who all, grew up in this town have all come back for the summer to figure out the mystery of the public access station, and along the way, you're supposed to find these VHS tapes. It seems very
analog horror.
Yeah, it's analog horror. Number one, number two, that it's relies a lot on group storytelling. So it'd be like, oh, Rodrigo, the tape is called Tales We Tell at Midnight. When the show fades up, what's the first thing that we see? And so then Rodrigo gets to describe that, and then it's like, and the host comes out and he's kind of stooped over Brian, who is this guy and what's his deal? And so you kind of tell what's going on there. And the thing that I'm kind of cautious about wanting to play is that it's supposed to be characters are revealing traumas. And I'm not sure that is the most fun thing to do in a game, is to make it traumatic. Some people, I think that it might be worth trying, but I need to look and see how much you're supposed to lean into trauma on that game. But the mystery itself and the way that you're getting these VHS tapes and doing group storytelling seems really, really cool. And I think that if anybody has watched the movie, what is it called? By the TV Glow, or
I thought I saw the TV Glow or something like that.
Yeah, I thought I saw the TV Glow. It feels very much like
I saw the TV Glow.
Yeah. Have you seen public access, Rodrigo, or your thoughts on? The trauma aspect of it.
From the trauma aspect of it, there is a rich history of RPGs delving into that.
Mm-hmm.
One of my all-time favorite RPGs is Changeling the Lost, which is just playing a bunch of traumatized people, just supernaturally traumatized people. And if you are playing in a group where everybody is sort of comfortable with each other, and maybe for something like this you would have to outline some like lines and veils and stuff like that. Tools like that are valuable.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of do that because it is kind of fun, again, as long as everybody has delineated what they absolutely don't want to see, to come up with your character's backstory during gameplay, right? If you're playing Fate, then you're coming up with like, and then I was interrupted by the cult of the heavenly monkey and blah, blah, blah. But in something like this, it's like, oh my God, I just remember that I got sucked into the TV for a year once, right? Or stuff like that. So,
well, I guess it depends again on defining trauma, because someone's like, yeah, my father used to beat me. He'd come home drunk and beat me. It's like, I mean, that doesn't sound like fun storytelling.
Isn't it though? Like, I'm saying, obviously, anybody who has lived through something, obviously everybody who has lived through something like that is going to have a tough time. And again, should be outlined if we can't go there, but you can't, like, you can't throw a rock at a streaming service without finding a character who was beaten by their dad, right?
Yeah,
Like that is actually an extremely common trope.
Yeah.
And
Well,
one
but
that
there's a lot of other.
when we see it on TV, we just kind of roll with it. We're like, I know where this sort of archetype is going.
Yeah. I guess if we were to do this, to do this game, I would be very, we would have to sit down and say, hey, listen, we're not going to do anything with sexual assault. We're not going to do anything with, suicide. We're not going to do any of those kinds of things. Those would be things that personally I would consider traumas that I do not want to touch on because they are super sensitive topics.
Yeah.
But like you said, oh yes, it's a trope on every streaming TV show. Okay, I can see that. But yeah, there's things that I definitely wouldn't want to get into in that game. And of course, you do get to set those rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Anybody else familiar with public access? All right, well, we may see how that plays out in the future.
That would be interesting. Yeah, there's also the weird thing that you there is no answer to the mystery, the players kind of
although
come up with their own theories.
Yeah, although they did say that was kind of the big hang up with the beta is that when you get to this one place that everyone's kind of like, so what does the ending mean? Apparently in the Kickstarter edition there is a more definitive answer as to what's supposed to happen. So yeah,
it can be tough. I've been reading a game called Eureka, Eureka Investigative Fantasy, and I'm not all the way through it. I still haven't gotten to the supernatural stuff, which is in the back. But that game, so something I believe like public access, where you sort of collectively come up with the answer to the mysteries, is the opposite of what Eureka is doing. Eureka is there's an answer to the mystery. You're going to put everything out there. You're going to do all this work to make sure that that the answers are available to the players. And then if they can't figure it out and they can't fix the mystery, they can't figure out the mystery at fast enough so that to prevent something from happening or to for whatever reason, then that was the story. Congratulations, you told a nice story about a bunch of amateur detectives failing to apprehend a bad guy or catch somebody or solve a mystery. So it's interesting. It takes a very strong stance in that. So it's actually really really nice to see a game be hey, how there's this loosey-goosey thing that's been going on? We're not doing that.
I know that, well, I'm sure we have failed multiple times whenever Rodrigo's running a game, right? Where it's just ugh, now I have to figure out a way to get these guys to keep going. But I mean, we've literally had with Yellow Light with Brad, where we literally failed that mystery. And I still had fun with that game. I don't know if you guys, Brian and Rob, if you guys had fun with that game, even though we were complete and utter idiots. So I think failure is an option a lot of times in RPGs.
Yeah, I had fun because we were complete and utter.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, are you not a fan of failure is an option, Rodrigo?
Oh no, totally. What I'm saying is.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's you can't. I'm looking up this game right now. Right, you can't fail public access. Right?
Deadly tactical combat. That rings my bell. Yeah,
sure.
Oh, Brian.
So
Brian.
What I'm saying is that there are some very traditional ideas of what an RPG is and how it should go, and for a long time, there have been indie RPGs that are we're not doing that. We're doing something else. And again, Eureka is specifically doing something that contradicts a lot of old school ideas, but also contradicts a lot of modern ideas of what an RPG should be. So it's nice for it to just kind of carve its own path, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. It sounds like fun. Sounds like something to check out. Too many games, not enough time.
Oh, yeah.
Every day passes. I'm getting older and older. more gray hairs, more games. Not gonna be able to do anything about the gray hairs. Definitely can't do anything about all the games.
Hey everyone, it's Cal Penn. I'm the host of Earsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club. This week on the podcast, I am sitting down with Ray Porter, the narrator of Andy Weir's audiobook Project Hail Mary, massive sci-fi adventure about survival and science and what happens when you wake up alone very far from Earth.
I really had to make a decision because I caught myself getting that frog in my throat and starting to get teary as I'm narrating some of these sections. And it's like, okay, yo, is this indulgent? And I really thought about it. I was like, no, at this point, it would kind of be betraying the trust the author and the listener have in telling this story if I don't go through it. But there's places in this book that deeply emotionally affected me, and I left it on the mic.
That's great.
Because it served the story. People will say like, oh my God, I cried at the end. It's like, yeah, dude, me too.
Listen to Earsay, the Audible and iHeart audiobook club on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Support for the show comes from Public, the investing platform for those who take it seriously. On Public, you can build a multi-asset portfolio of stocks, bonds, options, crypto, and now generated assets, which allow you to turn any idea into an investable index with AI. It all starts with your prompt. From renewable energy companies with high free cash flow to semiconductor suppliers growing revenue over 20% year over year, you can literally type any prompt and put the AI to work. It screens thousands of stocks, builds a one-of-a-kind index, and lets you backtest it against the S&P 500. Then you can invest in a few clicks. Generated assets are like ETFs with infinite possibilities, completely customizable and based on your thesis, not someone else's. Go to public.com/podcast and earn an uncapped 1% bonus when you transfer your portfolio. That's public.com/podcast. Paid for by Public Investing. Brokerage services by Open to the Public Investing Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services by Public Advisors LLC, SEC registered advisor. Generated assets is an interactive analysis tool. Output is for informational purposes only and is not an investment recommendation or advice. Complete disclosures available at public.com/disclosures.
Let's see. Back into the mailbag. Let's get back on track because I know Rob's over there going, please just ask me another Lancer question. Okay, here's one for Rob. Obviously, Lancer is the current system being played, but how do you rank it among the system Critical Hit has played so far, as well as other non-Critical Hit systems played by the team? Says Matt Speaks Words. They, them.
I think Lancer's, if not my favorite, it is in my top two.
Oh, yeah?
Ooh. Tactical combat is my bread and butter. Like,
yeah,
it's just what I really like in RPGs, or what it's what grabs the brain mind and gives me the happy chemicals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like,
burr.
Yeah, Lancer is the most tactical we've done, right? Like,
I think it is
Lancer
the most tactical.
4th edition, and then
fourth edition. It's up there with 4th edition. Like we probably have rose-colored glasses for 4th edition because we haven't played it in a long time, but it is very crunchy and tactical.
It is.
Well, we have yet to do a system where facing matters.
True.
That is accurate.
Anybody else want to weigh in on Lancer?
I haven't.
Oh, go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say I haven't actually been on Critical Hit and since back in 4th edition. But as far as
we're not holding that against you.
Yeah, as far as systems that you guys have played, this is still probably my favorite. And the reason I like it so much is that the way the mechanics work together, it makes moving around the battlefield important. Mm-hmm. And I have played too many games, D&D or otherwise, where it just basically ends up to one of those little kid soccer scrums where you've just got 16 little kids in a circle kicking each other's shins. And that's basically D&D combat a lot of the times, if they're melee characters. Whereas I've never had that happen in Lancer even once.
So we played Lancer both on Critical Hit and as groups, different things. Rodrigo was running a game on Sundays. Or Saturdays, I forget which one. But so we've all had a chance to play Lancer multiple times over the years. And I'm still kind of right now on the fence on where Lancer sits for me. And I don't think it's necessarily a mechanics issue for me. First of all, I would say that if it wasn't for CompCon, I think I would like this game a lot less. Because CompCon just kind of does a lot of that management for you. Now, it's not perfect. It's not an automated system where you push this and everything else triggers, but at least it's there to kind of keep you in mind going, oh, I already triggered this thing, or I did this, or now might be a good time to use my, my knife or whatever, throw a grenade. So for me, I think I need to go up a couple of levels to see how the mechs expand and grow.
Yeah.
And how that works, because we spent some time early on talking with Rodrigo pregame about what kind of mech we wanted to develop. And now I'm curious to see, well, what happens when we get there? How is the power creep? That kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I can't really give this any kind of ranking. Am I enjoying the game? Yeah. And I think for many people, just the fact that they get to enjoy the game is one of the most important factors. I mean, I've played some other mechanically you got to pay attention games like Arkham, which one? Arkham Horror, Arkham Asylum, any of those games where you've got so many little parts moving around that sometimes it's hard to keep up with what's going on. And some of those games are not as fun. And again, if it wasn't for CompCon, I would like this system a lot less. Brian, I think you're the only one that hasn't responded, right?
I'd say it's very up there. Man, we played a lot of games, though. I mean, it might just be
Lancer or Monster Wrangler.
Well, I had to run Monster Wrangler, so that's definitely lower on the list for me. So yeah, I might have to put Lancer on top. I mean, I'd probably be happy if we were playing Beacon, but that's just because I like fantasy over giant robots. But that's just me. But,
and Beacon has great supplements, I hear. So
yes, that's true.
Oh, you know what's another game that's incredibly? It's a great tactics game, but is incredibly. You got to pay attention every time you move something. Is Street Master?
Yeah.
Brian turned me onto that game. I've been a fan ever since. But yeah, if you miss one little thing, that's it. Yeah, Rodrigo, do you have some thoughts, or maybe you already answered?
I mean, I've been pushing to run Lancer for a while. Not that anybody was preventing me. There's just stuff that was happening in the games. I was preparing the game or whatever. I've been wanting to run Lancer for a long time. It's one of my favorites by far. Probably my favorite tactical game. But I still have some big faves and like things that aren't tactical. This was tactical. I actually really enjoyed. I really came around on Monster Wrangler. I would not be opposed to maybe running a slightly longer Monster Wrangler game at some point. But I definitely think that after running Lancer, whatever I run next is probably going to be a little bit less crunchy.
Fate.
I get that.
Fate is one of my favorite games, but that is a little bit like saying that like cake is one of my favorite cakes, like because right is like Fate is just so malleable. I'm sure there's versions of Fate that I wouldn't like as much, but definitely Fate Core is like very runnable, very straightforward, and I really enjoy it. And you can put a little bit more crunch on Fate.
Have we only played Fate once?
No, we played Modern City, and then we played the cake, and we played the baby.
Oh, the cake.
Yeah.
What was the baby?
Wait, did we play the baby, or did I
think we played the baby?
No, I just detailed what the baby was.
Yeah.
But we played the cake, and we played Modern City.
Yeah, which was my favorite. That's going to go down as my favorite game that we've ever played.
Possibly just because Steven enjoyed that game so much, maybe Fate is his favorite.
I don't.
Well, you're the one. The one that put like a restriction on it. Maybe
restriction on Fate.
Yeah, because you were like, if we get to this like crowdfunding kind of deal, then we'll play it again. And I don't know if we ever got to it.
Technically, we did. Brian ran the first team up Modern City team up with Jetstar and Rumblebee. And that was fun. We did release that originally just as a Patreon exclusive, but then we released it to the public a few years after. So
yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to, every few years Brian runs Modern City again, but our characters get reset every time, and it's like, okay, now it's the 70s, now it's the 80s, now it's the 90s.
Yeah, we have to do it, but it's 1945.
Yeah.
If we're resetting the characters like that, I'd pretty much insist on doing it in a different system every time.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, I think I just liked Modern City, not necessarily the Fate system, although originally I was going to do a Dresden Files thing until I was preoccupied by quote unquote how easy Achtung Cthulhu was supposed to be. I think it was just the superhero setting on that which worked for me. Just like Urban Shadows, Haze of Shadows, worked great for me because it was the setting and the story that we were telling. So again, going back to Lancer as the current system, where do you rank it? I really want to see how the story turns out, because I think story is just as important of the experience as the system that you're using. And that's just me. And if I have fun playing the game, then I probably enjoyed, if I had fun with the story, I probably enjoyed the system. Didymus says, how has having a plan for the future of your mech builds affected the way you play your character? Do you find it restrictive, or do you enjoy playing it with foreshadowing? Anyone can jump in on this.
I mean, I really like it, because also I feel like that there's also the leeway to deviate from that if we really find something that works better.
Yeah.
But just having that, trajectory to kind of determine, like, what am I actually going to do? What do I need to focus on? Really kind of helped, guide my choices and, give me a more solid idea. Basically one less thing to worry about as we level up and go through things. And also the fact that Rodrigo's there helping you along the way, giving you suggestions, that you're not making like a stupid choice on this level. You can be be pretty solid in that, like, you're making a good choice. And
yeah. I guess originally it was like, hey, where do you see this character in 10 years, right? And it's like, okay, well, here's what I think that I want my character to be. And then every time I try to be that character, something else comes up in combat where I'm like, okay, well, now I can't be this character or class or whatever. So now I have to do this, which I feel is pulling me away from, there's the way that it should be played, and then there's the way the game is kind of making you play. That's kind of that makes it a little bit harder for me to get to the point where, where our character build is. And that may be why Rodrigo is like, hey, I made some tweaks to your characters or to your mechs.
Sure.
And so it's like, and that's not a fault of anybody's. It's just that, when you are supposed to be this person that's trying to get everyone in a row and, lance them all, and then you suddenly have to be the up close clobber guy or the smoke grenade guy. Suddenly you're not, I feel like I'm not doing the, and again, this is just,
I mean, your concerns are absolutely valid, Stephen, but like, you guys are you just got to level 2.
Essentially one. Yeah.
So, we've had lots of fights though. And it's hard. Like, your builds aren't complete. So, there's like that level 6 chameleon probably doesn't have to stop to vent heat as frequently. Because
I'm not saying that it's just the, in relation to the question.
Sure.
It feels like harder to say, oh, here's some foreshadowing for the way Chameleon will be in the future, when the way the character is being played now, or the way the mech is being played now,
I see.
different from the way the mech will eventually, hopefully.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Alex?
I tend to be more on Rob's side of really enjoying tactical combat and such. So when I am playing pretty much any game, I already have a build in mind when I start, and I may change it to adjust to the story. But the way my mind works, I like to have a plan before I do something, and it frustrates me to not have a plan before I do something. So it has not changed anything for me because this is how I normally play.
Okay, cool. And Rob?
I would say I have had the most conversations about their build with Alex.
Oh, I'm sure.
That doesn't
Just,
surprise me.
different players, like some players are like, okay, here's my build, here's what I'm going for, cool. Some players are like, make my build for me. And some players are like, okay, so I thought about it again, and here's what I think I want to do. So it's nice to have a balance.
Yeah. Rob?
I've already deviated from the plan, as Rodrigo pointed out the last time we talked about stuff. Like my first on-screen level up, I chose something that I didn't have on the sheet that Rodrigo originally had.
Yeah,
nice.
Okay.
Way to go, Rob. Way to go.
But I've had this character in mind for way before we started. So like having the plan and having Rodrigo there to be like, "Hey, dummy, do this instead." Has been very helpful. Even while I'm frustrating the crap out of him by not getting him what he needs.
You just got to get it to me on time. It's fine.
There you go. We have one final question from Janus, who says, I thought PD was a really great NPC. Can you share any special considerations you all took incorporating a character like PD into the narrative?
Yeah. So my actual job is to work with people with mental disabilities, and I thought a lot about having a character like PD just at least make an appearance. And I, try to be truthful to what that experience is. PD is based on like a couple people that I know. And yeah, if you know somebody like PD, and it seemed like PD's portrayal was like kind of spot on, it's because I've been doing I've been caring for people with mental disabilities for a really long time now, and it kind of comes a little bit easier. I would not have done it if I didn't have that experience. Just like I wouldn't try to like have a character speak Chinese because I don't know or understand Chinese, right? But having worked on that for a while, I was like the main reason, and the other main reason why I really wanted to do it is because it says something that there's a character like this in this super futuristic setting, right? And you can try to figure out what I meant by it, but it probably says something to you as well.
Chameleon only got to meet PD once, but what Chameleon is good at is he, there's a lot of children inside of Jaguar House that have been orphaned, etc. And so, taking care of the children is kind of a big thing for the community. The one part that I was hoping to get to play out, but was not able to play out, is when I went wandering and laying out the streets, and I was like, oh yeah, I stop at this place and pick up a little few odds and end things. One of them was like a fidget spinner kind of thing to give to Petey, but I never got to see him again.
I mean, thanks to Dr. Beast, Petey survived. So
yeah, he did.
You might run into him again.
Hopefully. I hope I still have that fidget spinner. So, all right. Anything else? Anybody else want to weigh in on PD? I will say, if you want some positive things to light up your day, on Instagram, I believe it is My Brother Max. Is the channel, but it's about My Brother Maxie is what it is. Maxie. And he's an adult person who has autism, but he's a super awesome person. And I look forward to seeing when they post a new video together, because Max is just a great part of uplifting my day. Let me just say that. But does anybody else have any PD thoughts or reactions?
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed I didn't get more chances to interact with PD, but part of my job, I'm a high school teacher, but during training, I actually worked with a bunch of special needs kids, and it was some of the best experiences I've ever had in training anything. It was really great time. They were great people in general.
Oh, if you guys like doing that, last year one of my students did a documentary on Bethesda Place. I don't know if you guys watched that. I think I sent it to you, Rodrigo. There's somebody who is doing a documentary on this thing that this local church does that's called Night to Shine. Ooh, not a dry eye in the house when you're done watching it. I promise you that. So it's a Night to Shine is an event where the people with the special needs get to basically have their own prom. And it's really cool.
I've been to a couple dances. They are events.
Yeah, I'm sure, in more than one way. Anybody else? So, anybody else, Brian or Rob, want to weigh in on PD?
I mean, my character didn't really have any interaction with him. But yeah, I mean, my wife's had also been in the care field working with individuals with developmental difficulties for quite a while, and just kind of that experience that seems like pretty, I'd say, accurate and fair representation, it seemed, in my opinion.
Seems like, Rodrigo, everybody wants more PD.
I mean, PD is back on Haunted Island, and you guys do get a lot of downtime in this game, so if anybody wants to track him down.
There you go.
Also,
because
there's lots to do on Haunted Island now that a quarter of it got burnt.
Yeah,
so we're not going to keep Cat Island for our next R&R.
I need to kind of introduce more about Cat Island before we go there.
I'm okay with going back to Haunted Island, providing that we don't all turn into donkeys.
Okay.
Rob, do you have any PD thoughts since you interacted with PD the most?
PD was fun. It was fun having a person that Dr. Bees couldn't be Dr. Bees at in the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Like pushing Dr. Bees into actually being a reasonable human instead of himself.
It's like that thing in Interstellar where they tell the robot to like turn down their like sarcasm slider.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Well, those are all of the questions that we had in for the mailbag. And I know, dear listener, you are going, wait, I have questions. Well, if you have questions, you need to get over to the Major Spoilers Discord server and get into that Critical Hit channel. Bunch of wonderful people over there. And I think we're going to make mailbags more of a regular thing like we used to back in the day. So watch out for me saying, hey, everybody, time to ask your questions. And that's the time to ask them. I usually give you a week to get your questions in before we get to them. If you just go in like today and ask a question, one of us may answer it, but the chance of it going into a future mailbag probably won't happen because that's going to be so buried in the chain that maybe I'll create a sub channel for mailbag. We'll see. That's the deal with that is. So before we get out of here, there is a friend of Major Spoilers with Spoilerite, just like you, who has a brand new book that is coming out May 12th of 2026. Hello, future people. It's Dirty 20 by Bill Schweigart, and it is the story about a boy whose father is the mafia boss, and the father wants him to get into the business, so he gives him $20,000 to launder over the summer, and his idea is to create an RPG game and run it through a Kickstarter type system to launder the money. The only problem is everybody loves this RPG idea, and now he has to make it a reality. How's he going to deal with his his mob boss father. How's he going to deal with his best friends? How's he going to deal with an oddball crew of people that have been tasked to keep him on task? And what's he going to do with his love life? And most importantly, what about his missing mother? It's Dirty 20 by Bill Schweigart. I'm going to play a short excerpt interview that I did with Bill last month. If you want to know more about the book and more about Bill and his writing. But if you are interested in this book, which I think you would be, some critical hit references are made in this book. And I think you will have a good time with it. But if you go and pre-order it now or just order it so it comes out on day of release, I think you'll be happy. If you want the full interview, we've also got the full interview over on our Patreon page, patreon.com/major spoilers. So thank you, everybody who sent us a question, and thank you, everybody, for listening. And please enjoy this excerpt of this interview I did with Bill about Dirty 20. Bill, thanks for checking us out today. It's certainly nice to have you back with us. It's been a few years since you've been on our podcast.
No, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. For those in the know, I was a frequent caller into the Finally Friday show.
Yeah, that's right. Wish we could bring that back, but
I wish I could bring that back too. It was a great way to sort of end my week. I'd drive home from work and give you guys a call and chop it up.
Yeah, that's been such a long time because so much has happened since then. I think when we were doing that, you had your final, what was it? The Beast of Barcroft had just come out or something like that.
Yeah, it was around that time. It was around the time of the Fatal Folklore trilogy.
Yeah. In fact, was it The Devil's Colony? I think was the one that had just come out.
The Devil's Colony. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've been doing a lot of other writing for really, I don't want to give too much away and stuff, but like The Guilty One was another recent one that I really enjoyed. And now you have Dirty 20 coming out. I guess one of the things that I see as a theme in a lot of your books is kind of the person who is kind of found trapped by themselves in a situation that they have to get out of. And again, we've seen that in, the supernatural stuff with the Devil's Colony and those books. And then again, a little bit with The Guilty One, where you have an agent who is trying to solve a serial killer crime and also being accused of being the serial killer at the same time. And then in Dirty 20, you've got the mob involved in role-playing games.
It's super funny. I like, I'm a big character guy. Like, obviously I like plot as well, but I really like to have relatable main characters, and there's nothing more relatable than getting in over your head. And I do sort of, my main characters are often sort of every man, every woman who just really get involved in circumstances that really push them to their limits. And that's fun. And I do think that is, this Dirty 20 is definitely probably the best example of that. This kid is absolutely in over his head.
Oh, most definitely. Honestly, when you reached out several months ago to say, hey, could you write this blurb for the book? And I was thinking, oh, this is the follow-up to The Guilty One. And then it turns out that it's a story about a kid whose mob parents or mob father is trying to get him to be part of the family. And so he wants him to launder all this money. And what better way to launder money than through something that is similar to Kickstarter and a made-up RPG game. And on the one hand, a lot of people may be nodding their head and going, yes, I knew it. That's laundering money is what that program's all about. But then on the other hand, it's getting into an area and territory, not the laundering money part, but you have typically not gone into the pop culture-y RPG side of it. So what brought that part into this game?
So this is kind of a interesting, fun story. So my particular brand of fandom has always been comic books. And I started listening to Major Spoilers probably around 2010. And that has always been my flavor. And during the pandemic, my agent sort of set up a virtual coffee date with one of the editors at Disney because they were looking to do some Marvel stuff. In particular, they were looking to do the Marvel crime line. Mm-hmm. So had this cup of coffee with Adam, my editor at Disney. just to introduce us, and they were putting together the Marvel crime line. So we're talking Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. And this is after the Netflix shows had come. And my agent, I had let her know. I was like, look, anything that comes down the pike for that, just try and get me in front of. And we had a great chat. I definitely nerded out, and it was super fun. And afterwards, my agent is like, look, they're probably looking for big names for that Marvel launch, especially for the first wave of books. And I'm like, well, Schweigart's a big name. There's like 4 consonants before you even get to a vowel. Like, let's go. Come on. She's like, yeah, that's not quite what we meant. So then they announced who it was going to be, and Alex Segura, Daredevil.
Yeah.
Brilliant choice. Lisa Jewell for Jessica Jones. This great thriller writer, S.A. Cosby for Luke Cage. I'm like, oh, that's there was no arguing with that. But Adam sort of kept me in the back of his mind, and late in 2023, he let my agent know that he wanted to chat, and had this idea for like a Dungeons and Dragons thing meets the mob. And asked what I would do with it. And I know that he sort of came in like knowing that I was excited about the nerd side. But what he didn't know is that I am also a nerd for the mafia. So I would have been dying to write some sort of crime family, crime saga. And this was just a project that allowed me to tie sort of all of my pop culture loves and all of my like gangster loves into one fun hybrid package.
I guess one of the questions I have is, when did you start writing? I mean, it seems like you've only really had books out in the last 20 years or something like that, 25 years?
Yeah, I started when I was in the Coast Guard. So I started in my 20s and wrote a book and tried to get it published and couldn't find a home for it. This was like 2003, 2004.
Okay.
And then, set it aside after getting rejected a ton of times. And then, picked it up like 7 years later, was interested in, started writing The Beast of Barcroft, and sort of dusted off the old Coast Guard adventure novel I had written and just reread it. And if you write something, set it aside for a month or two.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can look at it with clear eyes. Yeah. And then I did that, except I did it for 7 years. So when I picked it back up again, I was like, this is garbage. And I was ruthless with my red pen.
Yeah.
And then it found a home. And then The Beast of Barcroft found a home. So I've been writing pretty consistently since 2011. I have to point out, though, that you have sort of become, for anybody curious about Dirty 20 or The Guilty One, that Stephen, you've sort of become like an evil muse. There is a Mayor Schleicher in The Guilty One, and he was super fun to write.
Yeah, he's my favorite character of that book.
I know we're working on that spinoff. We are working on that spinoff, and eagle-eyed fans of Major Spoilers will find some cameos throughout for some of your favorite Major Spoilers hosts.
Yeah, when you asked me to write the blurb, one of the blurbs for the back of the book, so I'm honored to be sharing a space with Alex Segura. I thought that, oh man, it's going to take me a while to get through this book because I'm doing book club and Major Spoilers and teaching. And I sat down, I think on a Thursday, I said, oh man, Bill, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this to you in time. Can I get it to you like on Monday or Tuesday or something? And I sat down and I couldn't put the book down, to be honest. Once I started getting into it, once I got into the flow, I read this in like 2 days.
That's what I like to hear.
So that's why I was able to fire that off before the deadline. And it's really a good book. It reads very well. When you said that you were doing something for Disney, I was like, oh, this is definitely aimed at probably a younger audience. Like some of the books in this vein that they aim for the middle grade readers. But this is more of an adult book. So for people that are thinking that, oh, this is for middle grade kids or high schoolers, maybe high schoolers, but it's very much some adult themes in here.
Oh, absolutely. It is a pure crime book with some. So I never want to misrepresent it. So I don't want to say that it's lit RPG or it's for younglings. It is most definitely a crime book that has a D&D like game as sort of the context and the driving force behind the game. And it is basically, as you said, this mobster's son. He's 19 years old. He just finished his first year in college. And his father, Big Al Fugue, comes to him and says, hey, it's time to get serious. You need to learn the family business, and gives him $20,000 in cash, a.k.a. Dirty 20, and says, I want you to launder this. So Tommy decides to create a fake game and put it up on Fun Funder, my fake version of Kickstarter. And he was just going to, launder the $20,000 through Fun Funder, just nice and quietly, except there was one problem. The game goes viral. And now all of a sudden, his dad, Big Al, smells money. Yeah. But he can't deliver this book alone. So his father says, okay, I'm going to help you round out your adventuring team. And you can use my pimp. You can use one of my soldiers who has OCD. You can use one of my enforcers, and you can use our stoner accountant. So with this band of adventurers, Tommy tries to extract information from them. And, the real world spills into the game, and the game spills into the streets. And Tommy kind of uses it as an opportunity to figure out what really happened to his mother, who went missing around the same time that he started college.
Yeah, and if people think this is a pretty straightforward book, it's not. There's enough twists in here that I was like, oh, I literally didn't see two of the big twists coming until they happened. And then I was like, oh no, these have been planted there since the beginning. This makes perfect sense. And so it's really enjoyable from that perspective, in that it's not, again, a lot of people just know, hey, this is A to B to C to D, and this is how the book's going to go. And sure enough, we hit those spots. But no, you were able to pull in some sneaky moves that made the story even more engaging.
Thank you.
Especially when we get into the two people that he meets at college that he's going to, because he doesn't want to be a mob guy. He wants to go to college and have fun.
No, he is your typical normal college kid. He just wants to do his own thing. He wants no part of the family business, but his father's like, you need a backup plan. And he's like, you want my backup plan to be organized crime?
So I'm curious, though, the process of your writing from Slipping the Cable to The Guilty One to Dirty 20, because you're going from kind of independent to more recognizable publisher to suddenly now you're working for Disney. How are each of those projects different from one another, as far as from the writing and your editors and the promotion side of it?
So it's been a journey, especially with Slipping the Cable, back in the day. And again, this is sort of more writing advice, if I could, deign to give it to anyone, if anybody wanted to pay attention. But I
got
would
7 books out. So,
well, I would write all day on Sunday, 25 years ago, to write that first book. And it took me 4 years. And then it wasn't until we had our daughter that, you don't have all day Sunday to sort of have the romantic ideal of I'm going to write all day. So I really had to get entrepreneurial and set the alarm and drag myself out of bed at dark 30 and just spend 30 minutes a day writing. And that second book, The Beast of Barcroft, by doing that, by writing a little bit, with a really small word count every day, I was able to finish the first draft in under a year. So there was 4 years for Slipping the Cable, 1 year for The Beast of Barcroft. And then just ever since then, it's just been trying to stay consistent, trying to write every day before. And everybody's process is different. Mine is just, I like to write at the beginning, in the mornings, just before the day gets away from me, because by the end of a day, you have decision fatigue, or at least I do. And it's just been taking it more and more seriously and just trying to collect some wins. So the Beast of Barcroft was, and the two other books in that trilogy, that was through Penguin Random House. So that was like a real big boy publisher. And it's just been, I had the opportunity to write with James Patterson, and I learned a ton writing a novella with him. And so each step along the way has sort of prepared me for the next step. And now the training wheels are completely off because I left the government last May, and this is the full-time gig.
Okay, so you get your book, you think you've got it ready. You need to find a publisher, or do you need to find an agent first?
So I will go through that cycle a few times until I've really sanded down the edges and I think it's ready to go. And then I will send it to my agent, Barbara, and she will try to shop it around. I literally sent her a manuscript yesterday, and she will take it around. This Dirty 20 was interesting in that, Disney came to me and we had a cup of coffee, because we had that cup of coffee years ago. So it really does matter the relationships that you make. And sometimes things that you don't get the first time can pay dividends later. Just like I didn't have that book that went in 2018, but that editor remembered the story, liked me, and she went to go work for James Patterson. And the next thing you know, when my agent is having lunch with her, oh, I remember Bill. I really like that story. Let me put him in front of Jim. So that is, if anybody in any sort of creative field, you do have to sadly get comfortable with rejection. There will be a lot of it. You just have to sort of shake it off.
So how did you go about finding your agent? You just cold call people? Hi, my name's Bill. I got a book.
They would hate that. I would not recommend that at all. No, it was around 2012, and at the time she had written an article for Writer's Digest and these different writers forums, and she just had a really funny sense of humor. And I wrote her a personalized query letter for the Beast of Barcroft, and it's you write a lot of form letters, you write a lot of query letters, but there was just something about that article that just was fun and spoke to me. So I wrote a personalized letter that, was a little cheeky, but nothing too bad. It was like, she said something about how she has a shoe habit. I'm like, well, let's sell books together so we can get you some new shoes, or something that showed that I was paying attention to her.
Yeah.
And so she plucked my query letter and that manuscript out of the slush pile, which is pure luck. That is how we found each other. The slush pile is usually pretty enormous for agents and editors, but I was pretty lucky that I got plucked from it.
How many rejections did you get before you got an acceptance?
Oh God. For that first book, Slipping the Cable, the Coast Guard book back in 2003 or 2004, it was something around the realm of 100. But that was my fault because it sucked at the time before I revised it. But also I was just throwing spaghetti against the wall. Like wherever I sent it to people who didn't even really, print in that genre. So I was wasting a lot of time, but you're just so desperate and you think, well, I've written this wonderful book. You really should do your homework and be more like a sniper in that regard, rather than just like machine gun fire.
Yeah.
So
this agent that you have now, she's been with you the entire time?
She's been with me the entire time.
What are the genres right now that are super hot that people should be writing in, or are not, or about to take off that people should be writing in? Do you have an insight on that?
Funny that, like, whenever, if I were to even say a genre, by the time somebody wrote something and tried to bring it to market, it's already on to the next thing.
Yeah, so that's why you have to figure out what's coming up. What's the quiet one that nobody knows about? Maybe it's mafia RPG genre.
I hope so. That would be great because then I'm on the crest, man. Yes, we're going to say that. We're going to manifest that together, Stephen.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is a big seller. For
Mafia RPG. It's a thing, and boy, have I got a great offer for you to get in on the ground floor. But no, like a few years ago, it was, and it's still huge, and I think it's, carrying a lot of bookstores right now was Romantasy.
Yeah.
So that was enormous. It's still enormous. And I think with the Dungeon Crawler Carl stuff, Lit RPG is huge right now.
Very much so.
I would not say that Dirty 20 is Lit RPG. I would not want to misrepresent it, but it is tangential or adjacent. So I think people who like Lit RPG but want a little crime, want a little chocolate in their peanut butter, would dig Dirty 20.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think that, there are many circles on the Venn diagram that I think this overlaps. I think RPG people will get a kick out of this. I think people that have gone through trying to get their own game funded through various online fundraisers will probably get a kick out of it. People are into the dirty crime side of literature, your mob stories, your thrillers, will get a kick out of it. And then there is a little aspect of romance that is in this as well. Mystery and romance. So you've got some overlapping diagrams. I'm not saying that this hits all of the quadrants, but it's certainly going to, I think, hit, and I hope it hits a big audience for that.
That would be wonderful. I think there's a lot to enjoy in the book, and it's got some heart, and it definitely has some humor as well. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
Well, one of the things that certainly helps books get recognized, and certainly, I don't know if you have thoughts on a sequel to this, but certainly that can get additional books made, is for people to pre-order the book. And so go to Amazon, pre-order the book. It's right there, Dirty 20. It's Dirty and the number 20. It's very easy to find. Pre-order the book now. Those pre-order sales really help boost people's attention onto this. And it's not even that expensive right now. Less than $20 for the paperback. When it comes out May 12th. And I enjoyed it a lot, but then again, I may be biased because you and I have known each other for so long.
No, I appreciate that. You're absolutely right. Pre-orders are crucial. I would love for there to be a Dirty 21. I don't know what it would be, a Dirty 20.2. Yeah. I'm not sure how that would work, but that the pre-orders and I think first week sales really will determine whether or not we can do that. And I've got thoughts. I would love to keep playing in this universe.
Well, Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. Dirty 20 out May 12th. You can get it wherever books are sold, but go to your favorite dealer, pre-order it. That will be the best way to help Bill out so he can get his next book out the door before the end of the year.
Stephen, thank you so much, and I appreciate you always being my dark muse.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Happy to do it.
This podcast is copyright 2026 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.